Gerald, the entire search spanned over 2 miles through all of Wendell. It all ended here at that camper behind me. That's where they found Bentley just before noon. Missing for more than 24 hours, Bentley Stansel is back in his family's arms tonight. This is the moment he and his father were reunited. It was all caught on camera exclusively from Sky 5.
He seen me, he shot up, and came right for me. That's the best feeling in the world.
Bentley left his home Tuesday morning, heading for the bus stop to go to Carver Elementary. Instead of getting on the bus, he dropped his backpack and ran into the woods. By the afternoon, the Wake County Sheriff's Office stepped in and began searching for Bentley. The FBI joined those efforts and an Amber Alert was issued. He was last seen walking by this Hardee's and through this Exxon gas station. Through the night and all this morning, search teams combed through the wooded area nearby. Bentley escaped the cold and wet elements and spent the night in this camper.
It had power, so he stayed warm.
He used the microwave to cook himself a meal and even found a friend.
And he found a cat that he fell in love with that we might end up taking home.
Bentley went to Wake Med to be evaluated. He has a sprained ankle and is now recovering at home. No word on the reason why any of this happened.
Do we have any indication on why he may have ran away in the first place?
Not yet. We haven't gotten that far. We just want to check him out, make sure he's all right, and then go from there. My thing is he was scared for whatever reason. He didn't want to go home, didn't want to get in trouble, but he's 9 years old. I wouldn't want to go home and get in trouble either. The good thing is he's safe, sound, and we can get all the details.
I spoke with the owner of this property here behind me where this camper is. I did that just about 15 minutes ago. She says they were not here last night when this all unfolded. They're just finding out about this within the last hour or so. She says she has yet to hear from investigators, but plans to speak to them soon. Despite the storm, it's still a very busy day here at the airport. From the security lines where they're getting folks through as quickly as possible to the bag checks. You can see all the people over there. Even the parking garage is 93% full here at RDU as travelers do what they can to get to their destination. This is the growing memorial for the man who lost his life on Sunday. Family, friends, and neighbors all want to know what exactly happened here that led to his death. Today, wet leaves line the street and flowers sit at the base of a power pole. This is where a man was killed on New Year's Day after his motorcycle crashed. Police say he was thrown from his bike and later died at the hospital. 3 days later, they now confirm this crash is being investigated as a homicide.
It's definitely not something I would expect. I go for walks in the neighborhood all the time.
Police will not say how the man was killed. One neighbor says she was in the front yard with her daughter when it happened.
A couple seconds later, we heard what we thought was gunfire, and it was like pop, 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 pop. And I turned to her, and it was a pause in the gunfire, and I turned to her and said, "Were those fireworks or gunfire?" And she said, "I think it was gunfire." And before she could finish her sentence, we heard more pop, 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 pop.
Claire Hedemark says she immediately rushed inside with her kids.
I just locked the doors and stayed inside.
She tells me detectives have gone door to door asking anyone for information or if they have any security video of cars entering and leaving the neighborhood when this occurred.
I just hope that they catch whoever did it.
Raleigh police tell me this was not a random act and there is no threat to the public. The investigation is ongoing. In Raleigh, Brett Knese, WRAL News. These volunteers, they're spread throughout the entire course. They help you scan your ticket so that you can get into the tournament, and then they'll point you in the right direction on the course so that you don't miss any of the action from your favorite player. The three ladies I spoke with, they've been here throughout much of the week just to give back to the game they love. Lori?
Welcome, folks. How are you today? Please watch your step.
Sue?
Good morning.
And Doris.
When you're ready to enter, the lady back here will show you where to scan.
They're three friends who play golf together twice a week.
We do Tuesday evenings and Thursday mornings.
Good morning.
They now find themselves volunteering at one of the biggest women's golf tournaments of the year.
We're all in different spots all over the course working.
The idea came to them about a year ago.
We decided this would be fun to do, so we got all organized, got our Airbnb in Pinehurst.
And what fun it has been for this crew. They say they've made plenty of memories.
Hi, guys. Welcome. We get a lot of same people coming in and out. They've been here one day and they're back again and they recognize you.
And have even become closer friends.
It's been an awesome experience. People here are so nice. All the fans are great. All the other volunteers are great. The players are nice to everyone. Annika walks by and says thank you as she's playing, which is really special.
Lori says they're also proud to be able to support other women and women's sports.
I'm a big believer in women getting to play sports and being professionals. So to me, it's just so amazing to watch these women hit a ball so far.
Getting to see these amazing young women out on the course is so impressive to watch how talented they are.
And sometimes they're caught right in the middle of all the action. Sue told me yesterday where she was stationed on hole 18, one of the players' golf balls landed right next to her, so she got an up-close look at this tournament. What an unforgettable week for all of these ladies. Animal control officers are only responding to emergencies because the shelter is so full. That's why both officers and the shelter say that there's things that you can do if you see a stray wandering neighborhoods like this one. Despite the rain, duty calls for Animal Control Officer Garen Stevens.
On a daily basis, we could either deal with noise calls all day, or we could have to, see some things that most people don't even have to think about in their day-to-day life.
Things like animal cruelty calls and interactions with wildlife. Stevens is one of 8 officers responding to about 50 calls a day. But without a full staff, officers are left working longer hours and covering extra ground.
When there's less personnel in trucks, on the street, we have to cover 2 or 3 districts at a time ourselves, which unfortunately can impact, our response time.
To make matters worse, the Wake County Animal Shelter is at max capacity with over 200 dogs in their care right now.
If we get a stray animal call, we currently don't have anywhere to take it.
So officers under all jurisdictions, including Raleigh, are being asked to respond to emergency calls only. Things like bites, vicious dogs, or animal cruelty cases. If you see a dog roaming the neighborhood, the shelter is asking you to help.
What we want is for the public to first try, and they can bring the dog in. The public can. We're just trying not to have the ACOs be responding to every single call without the person trying to find the owner. Because a lot of times they live down the block.
Dr. Jen Federico is the Animal Services Director at the Animal Shelter. She says it's been 6 years since their shelter has been this full.
Euthanasia for space is in play. And what that means is there is no behavioral or medical. We just don't have room.
That's why the shelter is offering discounted adoption fees to try to get people to adopt dogs like these to make room for more that will inevitably come in. However, the shelter says you have to make sure you're aware just how big a commitment a pet is.
Really think about your lifestyle, and if you are a very active, outdoorsy person, then maybe an active dog would be best for you. If you're kind of a sit by the fire and read a book and drink a nice hot cup of cocoa, then maybe a cat or a lazier dog or a bunny would be for you.
And another thing you can do to help officers if you find a lost pet is post it on social media, Facebook, use the Nextdoor app, or do what this person did and post found dog signs in the neighborhood to try to reunite a lost pet with its rightful owner. Now, as for those vacancies within the Raleigh Police Department with the animal control officers, it's a high turnover position. Right now, they're trying to fill at least 2 positions as soon as possible. Dan. The big announcement happening right here in front of the North Carolina Museum of History. NASCAR back at North Wilkesboro Speedway next May for the NASCAR All-Star Race. It's expected to bring millions of dollars to the economy, not just for this weekend, but for years to come.
I felt something at a racetrack that I hadn't felt in a long, long time. It was the true joy and the love that you just have for being there.
It's one of North Carolina's most storied racetracks, and you can tell how much the North Wilkesboro Speedway means to Dale Earnhardt Jr. But the track hasn't seen NASCAR action in nearly 3 decades.
The All-Star Race is an amazing, unbelievable turn of events that we never thought would happen.
Racing in general just returned last month for the first time in more than 10 years.
In terms of the track continuing and having this new life, it's probably a little personal for me.
The revival started about 3 years ago when Dale Jr. simply wanted the track to be used for iRacing, a popular virtual style of racing. But then federal funding became available. The state budget set aside $18 million from the American Rescue Plan for infrastructure improvements at the track.
It wasn't just the money. It was the community coming together to say, we want this. It was people who did countless hours of volunteering. You saw them out there scraping paint.
And the revival won't stop after the All-Star Race. Officials hope more and more races and other events will be held there.
All I want is everybody to go have a great time, whether it's at a race or a festival or a holiday event or whatever's happening at the track. I want it to be something the community enjoys.
Tickets for this event are going to go very quickly, but starting tomorrow at noon on the North Wilkesboro Speedway website, the first 1,000 people to donate to a fund that helps children in the Wilkes County area. Those 1,000 people will be put on a short list for tickets. It's going to be quite the event next year. In Raleigh, Brett Knese, WRAL News.